Hi, I'm Marsha Lewis, mother, wife, friend, sister, guide, executive coach. Welcome to the Awakening Platform. The Awakening Platform is a safe space. This platform was actually created to ensure that leaders had an opportunity to just be themselves. No titles, no corner offices, no guise, no facade, just being human. It encompasses four main components. The first one is the Awakening podcast. The second one is Truth Circles. The third, Air. And the fourth, Lift. Moment or season that awakened me to the type of leader I wanted to be. I don't think there was one moment or season. I think it was an amalgamation of experiences and moments. What I did know about me from very early in my life is I always wanted to be a truth speaker. And that comes from a place of my faith and my grandmother, both of them, who sort of guided us around always be truthful, because whatever you do in the dark will come to light. I mean, that is like somewhere in my head right here, etched. So I knew that I wanted truth and authenticity, which is a word that's bandied about quite a bit. But I always knew that I wanted to be, whenever I led, real. And I think when I look back at my career, really, I was thrusted into leadership positions very early. And I always share with folks that I mentor and just colleagues, I was never uncomfortable with leadership, but I was uncomfortable sometimes in spaces. Just a quick fact. Between the ages of, I would say, 8 to about 12, I had an awful stutter. Awful. Like I would answer the phone in my home and run towards it going, hello, 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 so that I could say hello. And when you stammer or stutter, as some people call it, it really could impact your confidence. And I have parents who were always like my biggest cheerleaders and still are. I'm very blessed in that regard. And I think that input and imprinting of my grandmother's and then having parents who always cheered me on really led me to just be confident as a young person with a stutter growing up. And I would like to think that I showed that in the various walks of life that I had, whether it was career-wise or personal life. And as a result of that, people saw something in me from a leadership perspective. And all of that is really undergirded by one very important fact, which is my faith and my belief in God Almighty. So if there's one moment I can't say, I think, as I mentioned, is an aggregation of many moments. But my base is definitely my belief system. I think what's missing, and is getting better, is leading from a place of compassion while still being fair, while still holding people accountable, and still driving the mission of whatever's been entrusted to you as a leader. I see that as being a critical component. I think a lot of leaders struggle with showing up as their true version of themselves. And they struggle with that because the environments that a lot of leaders operate in, particularly in a corporate context, is crazy demanding. So how do I show up each and every time confident, credible, knowledgeable, knowing that I too have some flaws? And I think for leaders, the ability to be comfortable, to be overtly vulnerable with those flaws shows not only your leadership acumen, but your humanity. Because at the end of the day, that's all leaders are, human beings, just like you and me. Awakening in the context of leadership. So when we framed the entire Awakening platform and series, I think the word awakening found itself to us We didn't start with this would be the awakening platform. So to answer that question, awakening means going deep. Awakening means recalibrating and remembering why you signed on for that job. Now, that job is a moment in time. That job morphs and iterates. So awakening is about going beyond the job, going deep into what service am I giving and how am I being of benefit to others. And as we lead, we get into all these rhythms and grooves that very often pull us away from what that passion is, what that purpose is. And you could be passionate about a lot of things, but when you are passionate and operating in your purpose, man, is magic. And awakening is reigniting that magic. That why?